everybody. It is, guess what, the first edition of Elevate with Dr. Shelly Shell Williams. And this edition is coming from what?
Thailand.
Yes, Thailand. Can you believe it? The first episode is coming from Thailand, and I have a very special guest. Listen, we've been roomies right here in Thailand, and her name is Rachel Ligon. Ligon, right? I want to say it so proper because Rachel Ligon, right? And we've just been having a great time vibing and understanding what life is, but we also understand the thing about confidence. That was like, what do we want to talk about? Confidence. And what I realized throughout this trip, she's adventurous, she's confident, she's very sure of herself. And that thing is one of those things I have struggled with at times. Not always, but at times struggled with confidence. But I noticed your confidence is outstanding.
Oh, thank you.
Your confidence is outstanding. So we're going to get to talk about confidence. So if you've ever struggled with confidence, which I know a lot of people do, they struggle with showing up on social media, showing up for their own business because they're not confident enough. However, our guest today, which is Rachel, is going to share her story. But let's talk about who you are and what you do.
Oh, well, okay. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Rachel Ligon, and who I am an entrepreneur. It's to sum it all up, but I run Adorn Boss Business Academy. I help women, the old version of me. You're this corporate woman, you really want to restart your life and you want to run your own business, work from anywhere, but you just don't know how. So I teach you how to do that. Create your own courses, create your own online service-based business, as long as it's an online business and you really want to know how can you work from anywhere and become your own boss. That's what I do. But I also am a high ticket sales closer, so I'm the head of sales at Kingdom Social Media, as well as other clients that I have. So I have an agency side, I also have my educational side, but I really summing it all up is I help you run your online business. And if you are a high ticket business, then I also can help you on the agency side when it comes to closing and your offers for you. So that's what I do.
That's what you do, and it's amazing. One thing you mentioned was definitely high ticket sales, and it takes a bit of confidence to be in sales, because a lot of times people don't sell their business or can't get to the next level because they're not confident enough to sell it. They're like, I don't do sales, right? Because they don't want to hear the no. So what do you believe it is that makes you confident?
We were talking about this earlier. I feel that my confidence doesn't come from me. I feel like my confidence comes from my faith in God and who He says I am, and I just believe who He says I am. And you can find out if you don't know who God says you are. Number one, studying your word.
Yes.
Number one, I do a lot of fasting and praying, spending enough time with God, not just speaking, but listening, waiting. And then also two, I feel like as my relationship strengthens with God, I can have a sense of discernment to know, okay, I know what is mine is for me. And if you tell me no, I'm like, you have no idea, because God already told me so. So your no, I don't ever feel that I get validation from humans. We are all God's children. So if you tell me no, it doesn't hold weight, the same weight that God's weight. It's just unmeasurable. So that's why I say I'm confident in God and who He says I am. I'm not necessarily confident in me. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense, and that was like, this was a mic drop moment, because I was telling her that I had struggled with confidence, and we were able to uncover, as we were talking, uncovering where it came from, because I was a literal one from an intern to executive producer. There was no stopping me, but there was a moment we realized it came from that trauma when I was working in corporate, and then I was laid off, right? That moment I was laid off because when I went and they said, we have to let you go, I said, am I being punked? Because in my mind, I was like, hold up, I'm doing above and beyond. I'm coming early. I'm doing this job, this person's job, that person's job. What do you mean, am I being punked? So it took a little, it took a little hit on my confidence, and I started to, but then I started to wear it, and I started to live it and live in it until, right? It was always an until, and things that happened, and then you start to build it. But it took a minute. I'm not going to lie. It took a minute. But actually understanding who God says we are, I always like, well, I'm God's masterpiece, right? I'm not God's masterpiece, so it doesn't rely on me. But I had to get to that point. But you had a mic drop moment. Definitely had a mic drop moment. And so with this confidence, right? there's things that we can do in life to show up. And how do you show up? How do you perceive yourself showing up in life with this confidence?
When you say showing up, are you meaning in what way? Give me an example.
In every room you go into, whether you're here, whether you're here in Thailand, whether you're in a boardroom, whether you're on whether you're doing a call that's a high ticket sales.
Oh, so I think it also comes with preparedness too, because it's faith without works is dead. So you can believe, but belief without putting in the work to master your gifts or to master who you say you really want to be, because we all are never experts in the very beginning. He says to stir up your gifts. So I know that, for example, my spiritual gifts, I have many, but my number one is teaching. And the Bible says your gifts will make room for you and put you in front of great men. As you see, my gifts has allowed me to come to Thailand. This trip is 100% paid for. We're operating in our gifts. But my point is that had I not mastered my gifts and showed up by preparing for this amazing opportunity, it would not have landed me here today. So I think I'm all about preparation. And your preparation means opportunity. That is, but it's very much in alignment with, I would say, make sure that you are a constant student of whatever it is that God has trusted you to steward over. So I come into every single room, every opportunity with a level of preparation before I enter the room. I am a kind of person who likes to talk to myself all the time. I start thinking about conversations that might happen, just in case if it happens, I'm never caught off guard. But that also can come from, you talk about traumas a little bit. Maybe it comes from my background in news. So I was a news producer for NBC, ABC affiliates. And so in news, we're literally preparing everything down to the minute and seconds. Wow. And so and everything has to go live. And if it's not ready by the time we're going live, it does not matter. The blame would be on me because I didn't prepare. So all things work together for your good in terms of, I know that when it comes to preparing, there's things that I have to do to feel confident, is that I prepared for it. So whenever I talk to you, I'm not showing up as anything other than myself, which is a person who plans. You see me all the time, I'm talking about I'm doing this today at this time, and this takes this time to do this time. But for me, it also can come down to, I'm gifted in this. Some people are not organized in that area, but that doesn't mean that you have less value. It's just that you need to operate in your gifts. So I'm confident in knowing my gifts, which is teaching. I also knowledge and administration. So these are gifts that come natural to me that other people may not have. But hey, that's why you have the planner of the group, you have the fun person of the group, you have the mom of the group, you have all, but they're all operating in our gifts. So that's how I show up, is just knowing what my strengths are and then preparing to operate in my gifts.
Elevate with Dr. Shelly Shell Williams. Our first episode shot right here in Thailand, of none other Thailand, and this is truly an elevation for me. And I want to give you a little backstory. When you watch this, understand this. This is my first trip out of the country, and when I say elevate, I had to elevate because I was often afraid to actually travel this far. I wouldn't get my passport. But I made the first step and got my passport, and the second step, we're here in Thailand. And when it comes to this year, 2025 to 2026, it's all about elevation. And this program right here, this podcast, Elevate with Dr. Shelly Shell Williams, helps us elevate. I can make $1 million, and it's easy. I can say that. You got to say those kind of things. You got to say it, believe it. And we're going to talk all about, of course, writing your book, all about social media, AI, all those things. This is what Elevate with Dr. Shelly Shell Williams is all about, helping you write the vision, make it plain, and use books to elevate your purpose, your impact, and your income. Making $1 million, it's easy, and I can do it. Right? You got to say that to yourself. And even if it's not about money, whatever that is, whatever that fear is, once again, I was afraid to leave the country. And now here I am, hours and hours upon hours and hours away from my hometown right here in Thailand. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? But God can do all things, but you got to be ready to say yes when the opportunity comes. You got to be ready to say yes without fear, believing in the God we serve, that he has got you all the way. So Elevate with Dr. Shelly Shell Williams. It's going to be an amazing journey. Every week we're going to have a new episode on YouTube. So join me, keep watching, and let's elevate it, speak it, let's go. All right, welcome back to Elevate with Dr. Shelly Shell Williams with our guest Rachel Ligon. And listen, powerhouse in business, right? You know, we always talk about what we do, there's different, but you talk about understanding your strengths. And the thing is, we got this thing called AI, right? And if you really get into AI, you can really find out some of your strengths, because people often struggle with trying to figure out what it is they do, what it is. Use a little bit of AI, use your chat GPT, use your Claude, and start doing the work that it takes to learn yourself. And I know that sounds crazy to use AI, but it really works. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to figure out what that is and then implement, right? But you were talking about, like, there's people for different things. But what happens when you're a solopreneur? It's like there's like you're a planner, you have these gifts, but someone else as a solopreneur, what they bring to the table is truly, like, to me, sometimes I didn't think about the fact that I have a gift for, speaking and interviewing and things like that. So, but what happens with the business part of it when you don't have the rest of it? How do you handle that as a solo? A solo.
I feel like, okay, so when you think about solopreneurs, this is what I think about your dreams. So you have big, huge dreams, and sometimes it can frighten you. And I think a lot of times it's because your dreams are not just for you to do it alone. You might start solo, but just because you're doing it solo doesn't mean that you shouldn't start forming a team of people who want to support you. If you cannot hire an editor, you cannot hire a producer, you cannot hire an accountant or whatever, and you got to basically become all of those different departments in your business, then finding people who are in alignment with your purpose and your mission. So let's say, for example, us right here, we both have amazing skill sets that complement each other, and we can help each other out for free, because I will provide a service that I know that these are my strengths, and she also can provide hers, and now it is it is compatible, is what I'm trying to say. So start aligning yourself with purpose-driven people who it doesn't cost you much to or even anything at all to get started. But it's not about like, okay, I don't know what to do. It's who can help me. That's the mindset that you need to have, because it doesn't take money to get started. It takes relationship.
And when it comes to who can help me, the thing is, people go after and they unauthentically try to meet people. Right? And it's almost like they come from a user thing, like, I'm gonna get next to this person so they can do it, as opposed to building the relationship first, as opposed to, I'm gonna get next to this person, I'm gonna get next to this person, and you're unauthentically building this relationship just so you can get something. It should be always coming into, how can I help you? How can I serve you? What can I do? As opposed to always trying to get, because as a person, as people who've been in this television business, people always want to get next to you so that they can get either on TV or they can get something, and we can feel that. You want to build authentic relationships so that we can build together. It's not like I want to get everything from you. I want us to build together. How can we help each other, but in an authentic way, building authentic friendships and building authentic relationships. And I think, please don't be that person. Don't be that person in it. And that sometimes comes from a lack of confidence. You feel like, oh, I'm not confident enough, so I'm gonna need to get in this circle, and I'm gonna need to get those. You're looking at the glitz and the glam, as opposed to, wait a minute, let me just build based on who I am, my gifts. So do the work that it takes to build yourself up first. So confidence, when you never really realized that confidence was, you exude confidence, right?
I mean, people tell me, oh, Rachel, you're so confident, but I be like, not really. I'm not necessarily confident. I'm just, I identify with a person who knows that everything I have is not necessarily mine. I'm just basically being a good steward over what God has trusted me with, and to whom much is given, much is required. So I have been giving a lot of opportunities, but it's only because I am a good manager of what God blesses me with, and I never take it for granted. So I come into the room, I guess, confident, only out of knowing my identity. And I think the biggest thing is people may not know their identity. And I think that's what it is, but I think I've always known who I was.
Yep, you always know. And because we were talking about where it starts. Like your mother
Oh.
had that spirit.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned that, you know, this is your mom gave you that encouragement when you wanted to do things. So yeah, tell us about like really sometimes it's planted. And sometimes not being unconfident is planted as well. So talk about your mother and how.
So before this conversation, we were talking about our mothers and our upbringing, because you know, when you go to therapy, they always bring up what happened when you were a child. And so I can say that I have a very solid faith-driven foundation, and my mom is the one who introduced me to God. I got to know God for myself as I've gotten older, but it was, you know, train your child as they should go and they won't depart from it. So I'm just a representation of all of the nurturing that my mother has, you know, provided me. But also too, it is a blessing because I understand about generational curses and how I have friends whose mothers, they were not their friends, and they were not reassuring them and giving them affirmations, and literally anything that I say I want to do, I've always been able to do. God has basically answered all my prayers, and I was like, dang, I need to start, you know, dreaming bigger. It's all about understanding, yes, I don't take it for granted that my mom really did set the foundation. So we can start there because God has been a part of her life even before I was born. And so this is when it comes down to being aware of the legacy that you leave behind, the lineage, your children's children, and how what you do is going to affect your children and your grandchildren. And so I can say, thank God I have a mother who was that for me. And so if we want to make it a physical thing, oh, it's only because she had her mom, no, it's because my mom had God. And that's why I said we never give ourselves the glory, because we know that it's not necessarily us, it's just by the grace of God that we came from people who had the ability to trust God and have faith. Because, you know, the Bible talks about righteousness, and so the prayers of the righteous is powerful, but being righteous is really being a person really of faith. And so I just am the kind of person that just believes what God says. And I think my confidence comes from God, but it was in my mom, and now it's in me. And when I do have children, Lord willing, it will be in them.
Absolutely. And I would say in the other side of that my mother is a great mother, but if your parents have that confidence issue, it may fall down the line. My mother, although supportive, there were things that she felt was like, you know, really you're gonna do that? And there's things I wanted to do, like I wanted to go to performing arts, creative and performing arts, to play the flute. But she said no, she was afraid. So her character wasn't necessarily a risk taker. So that kind of like makes me like, all right, maybe I should be a risk taker, because I've seen it from my parents. And sometimes we have to unlearn what our parents have been through, right? They've gone through some things. They may have some trauma. They may have some confidence issue. And sometimes you have to unlearn what not that they're not great parents, they're awesome parents, but they have been through some things, and we have to unlearn what they might have taught us. The world is very different now. No. If I rule the world, hey. If I rule the world, I don't want to rule the world. This is all God's world, and I just want to do what He has called me to do. Don't you? Don't you want to do what God has called you to do? Because guess what? When God calls you, your gifts will make room for you. And guess where I am? In Thailand. Only God can do it. 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 And I just have to thank God for this experience. And I hope you're enjoying Elevate with Dr. Shelly Shell Williams, because I want to teach you things like elevating your thinking when it comes to writing a book. The first thing is knowing that you have experiences, right? I have experiences, you have experiences, and those experiences are something you can put in the book. So this experience could be put in a book. Let me tell you about my experience, my first journey out of the country, right? What experiences do you have? Where did you work? What did you do? Those experiences can be put in a book. But you have to just get started. And that's what we do right here. So Elevate with Dr. Shelly Shell Williams is brought to you by the Rich Bestseller Program. That's right, relatable, intentional, consistent, and the hero of your own story is brought to you by the Rich Bestseller Program. And guess what? If you want to get locked in so that you can write your book, it's time to get clear. And so what you need to do is download the 1 Minute to Book Clarity. It's for free. All you have to do is scan the QR code and you get it for free. This is free. So go ahead and do that so we can be a part of the Rich Bestseller Program, so you can have that bestseller status, and so we can be on top of the world, sitting on top of the world right here in Thailand. All right, y'all, let's go. All right, everybody, we are back, and this is Elevate with Dr. Shelly Shell Williams. What? The podcast. What? We here, we doing it. What? But we are talking all things confidence, right? You saw part 1, now we're on part 2. And before we went to break, you had this thought in mind. I didn't want to stop your thought process. But what were you thinking before we went to break? When we came off of confidence and how sometimes our childhood, your mother was very, supportive and really kind of like helped you understand the faith. And my mom was, not that she wasn't supportive, but she may have had a little bit of not necessarily, she wasn't like chance taker. She wasn't a chance taker. She wanted to play things safe. Go get a job, and that's it. Go to work, get a job. Go to school, get to work, go to job. That was her thing. And anything other than that. But you had a thought, so I don't.
Oh, I was thinking about the conversation we had before we actually got on camera. We were talking about the nature of who I am, and even on this trip here in Thailand, I've been very much an adventurous type of a person, and going places solo and confidently traveling alone. And she was talking about how this is her first time out of the country, and she would never had traveled alone. And so we've done a lot of things that she wouldn't have been able to do if no one was going with her. And so that was what was on my mind in terms of the ideology of the type of person that you might be and the limitations you might put on yourself versus the reality of certain situations. And so that was more so in my mind to help put things into perspective as to what I thought was the reason why she brought me on here, was to basically talk about the confidence of what she's seen on this trip. But she just mentioned to me it was even before this trip that she noticed. So I'm just curious about that. Like, okay.
So, even from our first conversation when we were talking on the phone, it was just a confidence in you knowing exactly what you want to do. You knew exactly how you want to do it. You know what you needed. It was from the moment that we had our first conversation. I was like, oh, you're confident. And I admire that. I was like, yeah, that's a great way to be, because so many people live with timidity, that is so timid and things like that. But I didn't see that at all. I saw you, take charge, let's go. So I saw that from the beginning. And then this, of course, trip further enhanced it, but I already knew it. I already saw it in you. I was like, yes. And I admired it in you. So, yeah, that's where it came from. And then when it comes down to confidence, you mentioned even building your business, transitioning, changing life, and then you said you was gonna move to Africa.
Yes.
Like, so all of that aided in the whole confidence piece. And when I think about confidence, like there was a client we had, right? This is literally where it shifted for me, like where I was stuck in, I'm gonna launch tomorrow, I'm gonna launch the next week, I'm gonna launch next month. But this one client we had, I love the client, and when they were doing their webinar, the confidence that exuded from her was just like out of control. And I was like, I love the way she's talking, I love it. And then she made, $200,000 in an hour. And I was like, she's talking about the same thing I do, who I am. I know this work. And I'm like, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time. So sometimes you have to borrow the confidence of somebody else. And see, that's what happens with, that's why it's good to be around you, because I can borrow the confidence of you. Come on, let me borrow a little cup of your confidence.
Okay.
Let me get a little cup.
Yeah. And I think that helps, I guess, for the people watching. When it's talking about confidence, it's not. I think it's more of an identity shifting situation. If you are not moving in the way that you feel like you want to move to exceed to a goal that you have in mind, I think it's a lot of personal development maybe that goes on in between there. But I guess I don't know. I guess what's the message that you really want, like the takeaway for your audience? Because I can talk on anything. I just want to know, where do you want this to go? What do you want me to say?
I thought you were just coming off of that.
Yeah, I was just thinking good, but I'm also thinking about, my mindset is always too, I'm very much of a person who wants to help people. And so as they're watching, maybe what's the takeaway?
So, all right, so let's go to a break. Yes, the biggest thing is I want them to learn what it is to be confident. How do you do it? So the biggest thing is how to increase their confidence. You said first and foremost, the mic drop moment was that your confidence isn't in you, it's in God, it's your faith. And then we just giving points in between.
Yeah.
So, but if you want to know the biggest thing, so if you want me to ask you, what's some things that people can do to increase their confidence that can give them the helpful point?
Okay. Do you want me to answer it? So.
All right, no, I'm gonna go ahead and answer. Because
I didn't know if you said cut, but I thought
we didn't. So,
okay.
since we're in
no problem. Sorry.
So I'll just take that out.
My bad.
Edit that out. All right. We are back right here. It is Elevate with Dr. Shelly Shell Williams with my guest Rachel Ligon, right? And we are in Thailand. The beautiful scenery behind us is literally up on a hill in Thailand from a mansion. Like, it's really, we are like really in a mansion right now, and everywhere around us is a mansion. So in that's confident enough. Like, we confidently are able. God has allowed us to do this. Like, I don't take it for granted. God allowed us to do this. But sometimes you out there may be thinking, well, how can I get there? What can I do? How can I be confident? And so, Rachel, I would believe you are a confidence coach. That's what I'm gonna give you. You got this confidence coach going down. I mean, you have an opportunity to really change the world with your confidence. So what are some tips to help people become more confident in where they are right now?
I would have to say it's a lot of personal development, understanding that it's okay to not get it right the first time. I think a lot of people don't take action because they're afraid of it not being perfect. And I can tell you, anyone who is a master at what they do right now today, they were not a master in the very beginning. And Denzel Washington said it best, to fail forward. So failing is literally part of the process, and you're never going to get it right. I don't know everything I know because I knew it right off the bat. Some things will come just by doing. So I would say the first step is to do it scared, do it messy, but just do it. And then from those points of doing it, you're then going to learn things you would have never have known. Even when it comes to business, when people say, well, how am I supposed to sell something and I've never sold this before, you can always start with basically helping people, giving your gifts away for free, and then collecting those testimonials and then using that to start building on. But I would have never learned had I not basically give my gifts away for free in the very beginning, because those people now will become your first testimonials. You become your first testimonial. If you can't get someone, I'm just talking about business. If you can't get a client in the very beginning, you need to be your very first testimonial, or at least give your gifts away for free and then collect testimonials that way. So there's always an answer, and then finding people who have done what you have tried, what you're trying to do, and using them in a sense more so like a mentor. There's so many people who I consider my mentors that I've never met, but if and when I do meet them, I'm gonna be like, you helped me out. You ever feel like you can meet someone for the first time, but because you've been watching them for so long, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I know you. You really helped me, because there's so much about who you are that people need you. And because you're too afraid to put yourself out there, then people will never know. So the confidence comes by doing. I think that's the biggest one. And then also too, as you're doing it, I'm just recapping, then you're going to learn more and you're going to be able to get better at it over time, and do it scared, because we need you, and you just don't even know how monumental you can be in someone's life just by you doing it scared. But I will say one last thing.
Okay.
The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, right? And so he wants to destroy the thing that actually might be part of your purpose. And so he's going to try to attack your mindset and make you feel like, oh, I don't know if I'm smart enough. Or you have the imposter syndrome. You don't feel like you're capable. You whatever the situation is, or I don't know anyone. So, oh, you butterfly.
Oh, look at all the time.
The butterfly is a good sign. Whatever that means.
It really is.
But my whole point of saying this is that the Holy Spirit says, in the Bible, it says, God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So anything that is opposite of what God says, again, it comes down to identity. Anything that's not in alignment with the word, then you know that that is an attack of the enemy. So for you saying, I'm afraid, I feel anxious, I'm doubting, no, these are not characteristics of a kingdom child. That is who you are. And so I just want to point that out when it comes to confidence. Just know who you are, know who he says you are, and then literally believe it, and then walk as if that's it.
I'm walking in authority, living life without apology. It's not wrong, dear. I belong here, so you might as well get used to me.
I love that song. I knew exactly what you were singing. I'm like, hey.
Right, yes, because that's the truth, and I believe that. And there are times that the enemy tries to come in, but no longer. When you understand that the enemy's crack in you, like there's some certain things he knows to do over and over again. He knows how to get in. But once you start understanding what it is and how he gets in, it will destroy it once you understand and you call it out and say, God, I see this foothold that he's getting in, but he can no longer get there anymore. And that's where I feel right now. Like he can't get here anymore. Like I am so ready to go, and now I just want to help people with their journey, because listen, I know people struggle, and that's why we're here. So I'm so grateful. So listen, you are on a journey yourself, and now you have something new going on. So tell them everything that you have coming up.
I was talking about, even all the things that I've just been saying is leading up to the fact that I'm actually starting a new YouTube channel. You can just find me at Rachel Ligon. I'm sure she'll put it on the screen somewhere of my socials, so you can actually find me. But basically my YouTube channel is basically documenting my new journey. I'm reinventing myself. I recently went through some recent grief. My mother, she recently passed, and so there's so much that put new things into perspective in terms of what do I want to do with my life and the legacy I want to leave behind. And I realize I'm very much entrepreneurial, but I also am very much a girl's girl. So I love to help women just like me, but I want to help others who has aspirations of being an online entrepreneur, so I can help you in that area, but also too documenting my journey. I'm moving to South Africa very soon, and so you're seeing the whole transition of literally me walking in confidence, and also helping you being able to become the best version of yourself, living an adorned lifestyle, a beautiful lifestyle, and being able to afford it, and all the things that comes with just transitioning into a new season of your life. If you feel like you have a calling on your life and you are not happy in the situation that you're in now, just know that it is very possible, and you are very capable of turning your life around. You be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So it's a lot of mindset, but it's also a lot of how-to videos and tutorials, and just me talking girl chat. So I'm really here for the girls who really wants to transform your life. So that's what my YouTube channel will be about, and also you can find me on Instagram at Rachel Ligon as well, because I'm going to be documenting more of the daily videos there, but weekly videos, the goal is to put that on YouTube long form, so you can really get to know me. Also join my Adorned Sisters community if you really want that more customization, personalization. Join my community, and I'm sure she'll put all the links in wherever the description, so you can find it. And if you're interested, I would love for you to join me so we can all glow up together. We can transform our lives, live these confident, beautiful women that we are, and God-fearing women, but also too entrepreneurial driven women. So that is what I'm working on currently, and I'll be launching very soon. By the end of 2025, early 2026, you'll see that coming out. So stay tuned, and thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Rachel. I mean, I had such a great time. Listen, we're here. It's a beautiful time. We had an amazing time being roommates right here in this mansion. And you know what? it's all about, this is what it's all about, right? Collaborating and connecting and making sure that we elevate our relationships, elevate our friendships, elevate our lives to that $1 million, billion dollar mindset. It's not, we're not going to stay the same. We have to have that elevation of million, billion, billions, because you think, oh, if I say it out my mouth, I don't know if it's true, but you got to believe it's true. So let's continue to elevate. Thank you so much for joining me right here on Elevate with Dr. Shelly Shell Williams, the first episode right here in Thailand.
In Thailand.
Ooh, right?